Errol Spence, Chris Algieri. This is not going to be an analytical show. I'm going to break this thing down in the little fragments that's necessary to break down. First, before I get started, I always introduce myself. My name is Eric A. Bradley, aka The Real Fight Doctor. And what I do is we break fights down, round by round, here on Master Boxing. Tonight, Errol Spence decided to put the crown on that he belongs at the top, dethroning Chris Algieri, someone who's decorated in the world of boxing and kickboxing. And let me tell you something about Chris Algieri. He may have taken on the persona of, a prestige, elite level, educated fighter, but Chris Algieri is a pure fighter. I will not take anything away from him. He fought Pacquiao. He went toe-to-toe with Pacquiao, moving around the ring. Even though he got dropped 6 times, he kept fighting. And he's in an entirely different country. It takes a heck of a man to do that. Then he fights Provodnikov. That was his test. Some people say he didn't win, but he won that fight in many other lights. The fact that he got up off the canvas, eyes swollen shut, and boxed rings around Provodnikov, survived, and then walked away with the title. That in itself is a victory. So if you scored it for Provodnikov, you can't overlook the things that Chris Algieri did. He showed the algorithms of a fighter. But tonight, he went up against a young, brash, soon-to-be king, the face of boxing at 147, Errol Spence. Errol Spence is nothing shy of the real deal. I call him the pterodactyl because if you look at his frame, his wingspan, he's prehistoric. He's built with cables. The man's made of steel. And I don't say that to be riding bandwagon. I said this from the gate. It's certain people that's built a certain way and not about muscles. It's all about the density of the body, the things and the cables and the wires that you're constructed to be, the kind of animal that you are gonna be. And I call him a prehistoric creature. And tonight when you saw him walk into that ring, when he walked across that ring, when that bell rung, he had something in his eyes. He knew that he was going to punish Chris Algieri like he stole something. And from round 1, he walked in the ring and beat on Chris. The great Georgie Benton would always tell my uncle, whenever a fighter brings all that stuff into the ring, just beat on him. If he got skill, if he got footwork, if he got agility, if he got defense, beat on him. Tonight, Errol Spence, if you did not see that fight, get on your social media or go to your box and watch it record. He walked in the ring and his mission was to beat on Chris Algieri. And he did it for 5 rounds. He knocked him down 3 times. And there was not one questionable knockdown. There was not one moment in that fight that you thought Chris Algieri is going to survive. Now, I was speaking to my man over at ESPN as the fight was going on. And we were talking back and forth. And he, of course, wanted to know, was Chris Algieri going to have enough to do anything? Well, of course, I said Errol Spence is going to do this thing because Errol Spence is the goods. But anything can happen in boxing, but the chances are slim. But when I realized that John David Jackson had taken the opportunity to become Chris Algieri's coach, work the corner, I said, okay, well, he'll throw some tricks in there. Nothing worked. Nothing. Everything he did, he shut it down. He walked to him like he was 7 years old. He beat on him. Like the great Georgie Benton would always say, beat on him. Beat on him. Beat on him. Before the fight, Chris Algieri said that he wanted to fight Errol Spence. He wanted to see what the young, brash, up-and-coming fighter had. He said that Errol Spence would finally face adversity. These are the things that he said. He wanted to fight Errol Spence. But like I always say, whenever you're at this level, you got to be careful what you ask for. Because you just might get it. They call me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching. Right now you're watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down, round by round. Continue to watch. Follow us. We got MB Sports Media, live and direct. Nothing but good interviews, thorough story, and thought-provoking content. You guys stay tuned. So long. Peace. Boom!